this is Shel from Paper Rock Studio, and today I'm doing some jelly printing. I'm doing this as part one of what I'm going to be doing with my Christmas cards, which I will make another video tomorrow. I'm doing two things at once. I'm working on a 2 foot by 2 foot canvas for one of my friends as a gift, and then in between that, I'm going into my studio and working on this project, which is eventually going to turn into a bunch of Christmas cards. I decided to go with blues and teals and purples this year with a snowflake or snowman theme. Not sure what the final product is going to be, but I'm just really attracted to the colors right now, and I really don't feel the red and green thing going on in my head yet. So I'm going to make printed deli paper today. And I went ahead and showed you, it's a short printing session. I could literally do this all day. I could make 100 prints, no problem. It would be easy. But I didn't, I knew I needed to be doing the other thing. And while it's drying, I'm doing this. And then I'm going back into the other room. And so it's a fairly short session. And I will talk through a little bit of it, and then I guess I'll probably play music. I don't think that I can talk through the entire thing. So what you're seeing there is the insides of a napkin. When I use the napkin for applique onto a journal page or something, I separate the ply, and then I save those white ones, or sometimes I have a very faint printing on them, for future projects. And when I'm jelly printing, I tend to use too much paint. The paint comes out of those tubes pretty quickly. It's a medium body. They're either going to be Liquitex Basics or Artist Loft. They come out, I get too much on there, so it tends to make gloppy prints. So when I do that, I use a napkin or a piece of tissue paper and just pull off a little bit of the paint. It also gives a really interesting effect because when you're using a stencil, you'll have a lighter spot where the whole of the stencil is, and then it'll be darker around the edge. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain it. But anyway, that's what I do usually on my first print, unless I know that I put a very thin layer of paint on. And then I go in with another piece, and then I go into my deli paper, and then I pull off the stencils and then take a ghost print. And one thing that I noticed with jelly printing that a lot of people aren't doing is you need to attack it just like it's mixed media. You're making layer after layer after layer. Don't just take a print and then put it aside and say, I'm done. Go ahead and print over the top of that and print over the top of it again until you get something that you like. And that's how I do it anyway. And I like those multi-layer, multicolor, very deep, intense prints. So you'll see me come back with the same ones and put them back on, go take it away again, put it back on again. Right now I'm using, I know some of you watched my circles page, which had a snowman, and I used a die cut that I just bought at Tuesday morning. It's a Doris die cut with 3 snowflakes. And I took a piece of craft cardstock and I cut the snowflakes out, and then I have both a mask and a stencil there. It's made out of paper, so it'll get really coated with paint pretty fast. It absorbs the paint, but I'm using them sometimes. I'm using the snowflakes there as a mask. You'll see that I'm very much pushing where the snowflakes are because they're an intricate design, and I want to get the paint all the way around the edges, so I'm pushing pretty hard. And then that was probably a second printing on a page. I'm not sure. It went by pretty fast. Okay, now I like all that stuff that's on there that's left. It's kind of dried. It's crusty. I like it. So what I'm doing is putting a very thin layer of Pebeo Dyna paint. That's probably the blue-green or the green-blue. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's a turquoise color. And it's shimmery. And then I'm going to pick up I'm putting wet paint on top. It's going to adhere to those parts that are stuck, well, most of them anyway. And then I'll pick those up and it makes an interesting design. My favorite things are actually those ones where there's crusty stuff on the plate and it comes up onto the next print. I think that's really beautiful and unique, and I like it a lot. So with my pieces of deli paper that I'm planning on using, I'm going to make a masterboard and then cut it up. I wanted some dark pages and some lighter pages because I'm going to be tearing them up and using them as collage and different things. So I just am kind of switching back and forth between dark purple and dark blue, and then a lighter lavender blue and the teal, the almost a Caribbean blue color. And then of course I've got white, and I've got that Dyna Pebeo shimmery paint as well. So you saw me again pull off my excess paint. I knew there was a lot of paint on there. And then you can even see through the deli paper there that around the edges of that stencil is a darker color. And that will come out on the print. See? I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool to me. So that's one of the reasons that I do that extra removal of the extra paint with the napkin. You might be wondering how I picked my stencils, besides the snowflake one, obviously. I picked those particular stencils because they have very sharp pointed edges on them. It's diamonds, or it's rectangles or squares or something, and all those things appear in a snowflake. Snowflakes don't have rounded edges because they're crystals, and the crystals don't seem to form as rounded things. I guess maybe some of them do, but not that I've ever really noticed. But if you look up close on a snowflake, it's all pointy. And so I picked a few stencils to give me some pointy looks. Now this is my wheel stamp, and I'm using that. It's a snowflake. I'm using that to remove some paint to give me another design option. I like to use wheel stamps on my jelly plates because I think they make interesting designs as well. But you can't push too hard. On the first roll that I did, I pushed too hard, and then I got the edges where the rubber has been trimmed. Most wheel stamps don't have trimming, but I actually trimmed mine because it had edges that kept showing up on my paper, which annoyed me, so then I cut them off. And it made it so that it prints well on paper, but if I push it too hard on the plate, it leaves those little edges. That purple blue paint is very icky right now. It's thick and it's sticking too much to the plate and coming out all, I don't know, weird. So I'm going to have to get a new one of those, I guess, when they're on sale, 3 for $10 or something. That's annoying when your paint dries up and won't behave the way you want it to. I know I'm pulling these away pretty quick and you can't see what they look like, but I'll do still pictures of all of them at the end. I like that dark purple and dark blue together. One of them is a Liquitex and the other one's an Artist Loft. You would think their tones would be similar, but they're not. The Liquitex dark blue is a different color. Pretty obsessed with this wheel stamp right now. I really like it. I think I'll use it to make some wrapping paper out of packing paper that I save from my Amazon boxes and stuff. They always put craft paper in any shipping. Pretty much comes with that. I save it, and it'll make great wrapping paper because wrapping paper is expensive. And I have all these art supplies, you know. Ooh, look at all the neat crusty stuff on that one. See, I gotta go put a light coat of something on there so that I can pull that off. I'm not sure I have anything else to say. This is pretty straightforward. I wished I had more punched out snowflakes. wheel stamp to the rescue. I guess I could explain what deli paper is. It's kind of like wax paper, except for it doesn't have that heavy wax coating on it. It's stronger than tissue paper because I can tear tissue paper if I get too crazy. So I have like a pop-up box that I bought from a restaurant supply place because it's what they wrap your sandwiches in when you go to the deli. And I think it has 100 sheets. I haven't even touched the amount of sheets that is in that thing. It's got a lot. Crazy amount. Also, another preference of mine is to put more than one color on my plate when I'm using this big plate. Even when I'm using the smaller ones, I do that. I figure more colors better. I guess I'm going to insert music here, and then I'll maybe talk at the end, if I see something that I think I need to talk about, I'll talk later. So this one coming right here is my favorite. I love how I took that layer off, and then I took the paper masks off and they pulled the paint from underneath, and then when I put this on top with the darker color paint on it, it looks so cool. I really like this one, is my favorite. See, isn't that neat? I love that. So we're coming up on me being done. I'm forcing myself to stop. I could do this all day. Seriously, I love it so much. But I am stopping, so I decided to go ahead and take my cleanup print on my roll-off page. You know, roll-off pages are sometimes the coolest thing. Look at that. That is so cool. And all that has is just the excess paint on it, and then the one little print with the shimmery paint. And then I decide that some of these need a little bit extra. Oh no, I guess I'm doing one more print. Thought I was about done. Never mind. I guess I'm going to put some more dark on a couple of them or something. I did want them to be fairly intensely colored. Maybe this is my last one. I'm not sure. I only did this 20 minutes ago. Oh yeah, that one. Okay. Whenever you see me like running my rag along the edge, it's because I didn't get the deli paper all the way on there straight, and there's an edge. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. Anyway, there's a wet edge, and then when I go rub my hand on there, I get paint all over my hand. And it bothers me. So I clean the edge. Here's what I was talking about. Okay, so a couple of them I thought that they might need a little bit more. I mean, that one has a lot of excess empty space. So I put some paint on my jelly plate, and then I use it as a quote ink pad for my roller stamp to add just a little bit more design. And I had a lot of fun with that, so I just kept doing it. I really do like these prints. I think they're great. Hopefully I'll be able to do them justice when I work some more with them later. Put some white ones on there. The paper's trying to curl up around the wheel. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I was having fun. I wanted more pattern, I guess. It was fun. They look, now that I'm looking at them on the video, they look pretty cool without the extra. Of course, I'm going to be tearing them up, so having more pattern is better because if you're tearing it into a smaller piece, you're not getting the whole print. Don't know if that made any sense either. Either way, I was having fun. Of course, now I got to take that wheel stamp and go scrub it with an old toothbrush. Even that looks pretty cool. Now just a little bit of cleanup. I just am using my baby wipe to get most of the crusties off, and then I'll use some hand sanitizer and a paper towel to clean the rest of it before I put it back in its little clamshell. Some people don't clean them. I mean, I'm not cleaning it absolutely 100% perfect, but it'll flake on the corners, and yeah, I just want to get that extra stuff off the edges mostly. So I think the stills are coming up, and you can see what I came up with at the end. And then I guess I'll post this video today. I don't have the second part, and I hate it when people have, you know, like when TV shows have sequels, like, oh, look, next week there'll be, I hate that. So maybe I should save this and then do 1 and 2 on the same day, but I don't think I will. I'll just go ahead and post this, and I promise, cross my heart, that there'll be another one tomorrow that's the rest of this project. And enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.